This takes place in 1983, and the speaker is 16 years old. The sour-breathed man said I must have $100. There were so many quarters, I believed him. I was anxious to count my winnings, but not there in the toilet stall. In fact, I could barely move. Every time I shifted a foot, my pants would jostle and more quarters would spill out. I dreaded having to pull up my pants to leave. Visions of pockets exploding, quarters rolling everywhere across the dirty bathroom floor, a crowd of men suddenly appearing, all of them reaching, grabbing for my coins. A man entered the stall next to mine. I froze. I heard, as if magnified, the sound of a belt being unbuckled, trousers sliding down legs, a man sitting down. With a mixture of revulsion and fascination, I waited for the smell and the noises I expected from a man sitting on a toilet. Instead, there came something else. It was a steady, rhythmic, fleshy sound. It was a private sound, a sound not unfamiliar to me. I felt sweat stinging the back of my neck. The man's porcelain toilet made a gentle, back-and-forth cracking sound. I could also hear his breathing. I didn't know what to do. Then it all stopped. I was still frozen when the man's right foot began to slide across the floor in my direction. I stared at his shoe, shiny, black. Was it the same man I had seen earlier? The shoe was slowly creeping toward me, closer and closer, like some underwater creature skimming under the surface, coming up for air. I held my breath. I was aware of this man's presence as I had never before been aware of another person. I had the sensation that this man, separated from me by the metal barrier of the toilet stall, could read my thoughts, could see me watching his foot, which continued to edge toward me until it was directly underneath the partition between us. I thought he could see me look at my own shoes, at my feet in their blue keds. Their smudged white sides and gray raggedy shoelaces were suddenly appalling to me. Perhaps he could do more than see me, more than read my thoughts. Perhaps he could actually control my thinking. Perhaps that was what made me forget for a moment the mounds of quarters nestled tightly in the crumpled cloth of my pants, forget that my father was somewhere at large in the casino, possibly looking for me at that very moment. Perhaps it was the thoughts of the man with the shiny black shoes that made me slide my left foot a few inches toward his. He had resumed the rhythmic motion with his hands. How did I know he was using both hands now? An option that had never occurred to me. His toes rose up and he turned his shoe out to face me. Slowly it rose and fell as if it were nodding, as if our feet might come to an agreement. I swallowed hard and felt the toes of my left foot rise. "Oh man," I heard him say, and then he sighed. The air shuddered around me. My fingers reached for my erection. "Ethan, you in here?" The bathroom door swung shut. I hadn't heard it open. "I'm here, Dad," I yelled. Much too loud, my voice a squeal. I yanked my foot toward myself. It collided into a pile of quarters, sending several of them spinning. "Well, hurry the fuck up, it's time to go." "Okay," I said, trying to make my voice sound normal. My father left the bathroom. I looked down at my feet. The liquid black shoe hadn't moved, was still floating up and down, extending its dark invitation. I felt a sudden desperate urge to reach down and touch it, to curl my fist around the tip of the shoe, to press and rub my face into the shiny leather. I wanted to crouch down and put my mouth there. Instead, I stood up, slowly and delicately pulled my pants up. No coins fell. I abandoned the ones that were on the floor. My skin was tingling, my mouth parched. I felt weightless. I knew the man was watching me with his magic eyes that could see through the stall. Knew he was sensing me still in some new and mysterious way. Even though we could not see each other, even though I did not know the shape of his face or the color of his eyes, I felt him inside me as he followed my every movement. I unlatched the stall door, tread carefully across the room, and went to find my father. Thanks.